So take stock of your body, see how you feel as you're twisting your upper body, as you're turning your neck. How much mobility do you have in your neck? How far can you go? What's the range of motion in your back, over top? So yes, we'll use these as movements to warm up a little bit and just to get things moving, but also be aware of how you're feeling, and we'll see how you feel at the end when we do similar movements. All right, some hip opening. If you need to be holding on to something while you're doing this, by all means. So hopefully you have a couch or a chair nearby if you need that for stability or for incline. You have a dowel. You have a strap of some sort or a band. A cushion you may need under your knees. And your water bottle just to keep yourself hydrated. All right, let's go into some breathing. We'll do some deep breathing into the stomach and ribs. As you inhale through your nose, fill up your stomach. Exhale, squeeze out that balloon. Fill up the balloon. Exhale. We'll do the same thing with the hands on either side of your ribs. Fill up those ribs. Try to expand into your hands as you inhale through your nose. Deep breath and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to do the same thing on the ground. So with your knees bent or your legs straight, it's up to you how you're feeling with this, with your low back. Fill up your ribs as you inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze the belly button toward the back. Inhale slowly and then hold at the top. Exhale, squeeze all the air out as much as you possibly can. And one more breath that I'll count. Inhale, hold it. Exhale, squeeze it all out as much as you possibly can. Keep breathing naturally, but maybe just a little deeper, the way we were just doing, and we'll get some wrists and ankles. If you bend both legs, bring your knees to your chest. You can get both of your ankles. Go the other direction. We're going to keep one knee at the chest, extend the other leg, bring this knee across the body with the arms out in a T, and we go into iron cross. We'll extend that one leg, if you like, that one that's brought across the body, and drop it right down to the ground. Keep that deep breathing into the ribs like you had it, like you were just doing. Inhale, and exhale. Let's make this an active stretch. Raise the crossed leg off the ground about a foot, and allow those muscles to work on the side of the leg. Then drop it back down and deeply breathe into the stretch. Can you stride your legs apart from each other as much as possible? And breathe into that stretch. Breathe into the twist of the spine. Raise the leg one more time to fire those muscles. Exhale, drop them down and release that stretch. Bring the knee to the chest. The other knee to the chest. Extend the other leg. Drop the knee across. Extend it if you'd like, or keep it bent if you'd like. And then lift the leg, keep it active for about 3 to 5 seconds. Drop it back down, feel that stretch. Breathe into the stretch. Raise that leg again. Spread the legs apart from each other. Make this an active stretch, and then drop it down to make it a passive stretch. Inhale. Deep breathing into that. Bring your knee to the chest, both knees to the chest, and then drop them down onto the ground. Push the elbows now into the ground, right beside your body. You're going to feel the whole upper arm pushing into the ground to get your back firing. Right now, you're squeezing your shoulder blades together and pushing your whole upper arm into the ground. Now we're going to fire the glutes, release the arms, get the arms out there. Now we're going to refire, push those arms in, squeeze the shoulder blades down and back, and gradually lift yourself up just the shoulders off the ground and back down. Relax the shoulders, relax the arms. Now we re-engage, upper arms. Pull the shoulder blades down and back. Tuck your tail, squeeze your glutes, and roll up one vertebrae at a time, pushing into your elbows to engage the back. And back down. Release, relax. One more time. Push the whole arm into the ground. Tuck your tail, squeeze your glutes. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Hold, pushing the elbows into the ground. And roll back down. We are turning onto the side and heading into a tabletop for bird dogs. Get your back into neutral, pretty much as straight as possible. And we're going to extend one leg and one arm as far away from each other as possible. When you do that, return to position. When you extend, make sure that your back stays straight, your hips and shoulders stay straight. They may want to twist, but part of what we're doing here is keeping anti-rotation, so trying not to rotate. One more time, extend, 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 and bring the elbow to knee, and extend again. Now, if elbow to knee was really difficult, you can bring hand to knee, and extend, elbow or hand to knee. Try to keep that back as neutral as possible. Extend as far as you can, and one more time of this, elbow or hand to knee, extend, and back down. Resetting for the other side. Extend one arm and the opposite leg. Fingers as far away from the toes as possible, and down. Back is like a tray that's holding a bunch of wine glasses. You don't want to spill it, so keep it as flat as possible as you're engaging the whole trunk and arms and legs. And one more extension when we head into elbow to knee or hand to knee. So hand to knee, keep that back straight, extend, or elbow to knee, or somewhere in between, whatever your challenge is. Beautiful. Let's stretch out the front of the body. We're going down onto our stomachs into what looks like a push-up position, but we're not doing push-ups right now. We're going to stretch it out. Take that other arm. Actually, we'll do this one close. We're going to extend one arm, keep the other arm in the push-up position, pushing into the ground, and reach one leg up and over toward the extended arm. When you do that, you should feel a lovely stretch in front of the shoulder of the extended arm, a great stretch in the hip flexors. Fire the glutes just to get a little bit more out of it, and then we'll switch. Return the leg, both arms to the push-up position, extend the other arm, leg over top, fire the glutes, feel the hip flexors stretch, feel the stretch in the shoulders, and also a great twist in the spine. Now we're going to make that a little more active. Hold it for only about 1 second. Make sure to fire the glutes. Switch arms. Are you still breathing? Good deep breathing into those lower ribs. And one more of these. We're going into the Sphinx. So if you need to, roll over onto your side. Get up onto your elbows, and then legs back extended. Pull your elbows under your shoulders and spread your hands. Push into the whole lower arm. Pull the shoulder blades down and back and fire the glutes. We're making this an active stretch. And then just release everything. Feel the stretch of the belly and the ribs heading down toward the ground. Breathe deeply into that. One more time, fire the glutes, pull those shoulder blades down and back toward the glutes. Good engagement, and relax. This is where you need the strap. or may not need it. We're going to put it around 1 foot. Some people, we're doing a quad stretch here. Show you the one that's nearest. Doing a quad stretch here on the ground. So we're going to do half bow to start with. If you're familiar with yoga, we're going to pull one leg up and lift the upper body. If you can do this holding onto your ankle, all the better. But we work toward it with the straps if you need to. And back down. Engage the back of the body. Engage the shoulder blades down and back. And the glutes, just like in the Sphinx. And back down. One more time on this side. Up. Deep breathing into this. And we're going to switch the strap on the foot. Onto the other foot. Or you can do it without a strap. Pulling up as tall as you can with the leg, with the knee, and the upper body. Your other arm can be used as an assist if you'd like. Push into the ground with the arm. And back down. And one more time, knee as high as possible. Your knees may not come off the ground. It's the effort that you put into it that's going to make a difference for you. So you just go as far as you can. Now we're going to go for both of them. If you need the strap, you can use it. Otherwise, use your hands. Squeeze those glutes. Pull your shoulder blades down and back. Is there a theme going on here? All right, and back down. Again, if you need that strap, put it around both feet. Use both hands. Knees come off the ground. Shoulders and chest come off the ground if possible. And back down for the full bow. We're rolling onto the side now. Into a 90-90 position of the knees. So 90 degrees of each knee. And we are simply going to go back and forth. So you're leaning back on your hands. Going back and forth to open up the hips. Try to drop the knees right down to the ground. Yes, one hip will probably come off the ground. Not for everybody, but some people. Just loosening up the hips. And then we head into loosening up the hips. Keep going with the loosening up of the hips. Alrighty, we're going to try to raise the hips from here. So, drop both knees to the ground. Press the foot to the knee, all the way into the ground, and lift up your hips. Hold, squeeze the glutes, pull those shoulder blades down and back. Have you noticed these might be posture-related firing of muscles? Drop that down, and back up. Pull those shoulder blades apart. Squeeze them together in the back. Open up the front of the chest. Drop the hips. And we'll bring the knees over to 90-90 on the other side. Same thing. Lift the hips. Fire the back of the body. Open up the front of the body. Breathe deeply. Now we're sitting down, cross-legged if you can. If you struggle with that, first thing, you can put a cushion underneath the back of your hips. If that's still difficult, you can use a chair. You can absolutely use a chair for what we're doing. Have a seat on the chair and do exactly what we're doing, which is arms out in front. Cross them over top. Clasp them and reach them up overhead as much as possible. Drop your shoulders if you can. Hands to the head, and then reach up again. Shoulders away from the ears. Are you still breathing into your belly? Breathing into your lower ribs. Hands to head. One more time over top with this hand. Notice which hand is in front of the other. Bring it down in front. Unclasp and switch hands. Back over top. Reach up as tall as you can. Shoulders away from the ears. Hands to head. And again. Do that 3 times. Pull those elbows back. Reach the hands forward. And one more time. Unclasp scooch over to one side of one knee. You can get the back of the hand there. The other hand goes back behind you, and we go sit up as tall as possible with a twist. Inhale deeply into this twist. We'll add the neck to it. So the ear that's closest to the center of your body, or the front ear, is going to go down to the front shoulder while you keep the twist and while you breathe into that. Head back up, bring your head to center, tuck your chin, and roll back and forth. Get a little loosening of the chin. Now, chin slides up that shoulder and looks upward to get another twist of the whole front of the arm and the neck. Release the twist. Shake it out. Do you feel a little lopsided? Let's go to the other side. Back of the hand on one knee, the other hand behind you. Great twist as you inhale up. Tall twist. Just a gentle twist though, not too hard. From there, let's drop the ear to the front ear, to the front shoulder. Feel that stretch in your neck and into your back arm. Keeping the twist. Drop your chin to the front. Give it a little bit of neck across from shoulder to shoulder, chin, shoulder to shoulder. And then lift your chin, looking forward again, lift your chin diagonally to the side and feel that stretch again here. Coming back to the center, shake it out. Hopefully you're feeling rebalanced. Let's get the arms behind the head, elbows back as far as possible. Again, you can be sitting on a seat if you're uncomfortable. Let's switch legs for this now. Balance that out. Elbows behind your head. We'll twist your torso as far as possible. I call this the teapot because we're going to pour the tea out. Lift the one elbow as much as possible. Drop the other shoulder as much as possible. From here, don't untwist. Come on back up and twist a little more. Go back down. Notice this is not just flexibility. There's some stability going on here. Your trunk is working. Up and twist even more. Up, twist even more. Pour it out. Come on up and we'll go to the other side. Stay tall. Twist as far as you can. Pour it out. Keep going. Deep breathing while you're doing this. If you can go one more, by all means, go for it as far as you can. And we're going to work on some hip flexors. So you have the cushion on the floor. Take your dowel. You're going to be doing some half kneeling. We're going to engage the core by pushing down into the arms. Maybe I'll turn sideways here so you can see me a little bit more. Push down into the dowel. Tuck your tail underneath. Keep the tail tucked. Push the hips forward and upward. If you release the tail, you could go forever and not get much of a stretch here. So we want to keep that tucked. Again, reset, push into the dowel, tuck your tail and go forward to get a nice engaged stretch of the hip flexors. And one more time, engage the core. Still breathing. All right, let's get the ankles while we're at it. So pull the foot down, engage the core, and go forward, only this time, we're actually stretching the back of the calf. Don't worry if your knee passes your toes, as long as that doesn't hurt. We're not loading the knee here, we're just trying to get a calf stretch. Still engaging the arms downward to engage the core. Come on back. One more time for that. Engage, forward, stretch those calves. You can even pull your toes upward toward your shin, just to see if you get a little bit more out of the calves there. We're going to the other side. Switch legs. You don't have to switch sides, just for me to show you. Spread your toes, knees at a 90, go tall, press into the dowel, tuck your tail, and go forward. Come on back, disengage and re-engage. Hips go down, go upward and forward, and again, engage. Hips go upward and forward. For the ankle and the calves, pull the foot back, engage. Feel that stretch in the calves. Come on back. Push down on that dowel to engage the core. Stretch the calves. And one more time. Push down. And forward. Beautiful. We're setting. Actually, let's keep going with the dowel just a little bit. You can do this with a band if it doesn't work if your arms don't want to go this way. We're trying to keep the arms straight as much as possible and trying to keep the ribs downward rather than flaring outward like that as we do this. Keeping those arms as straight as possible. Use a longer band if you can't quite do this. If you have to, you can bend the arms, and our aim is to eventually. Now, if that's easy, walk your hands in just an inch or two and see if you can do it that way. Get a little bit of shoulder movement going. Dowel off to the side. We are heading into some nice hip opening. Foot in front, hands on the inside. Drop your hips down as low as possible. Again, I'll go off to the side so you can see that. Drop your hips down. We don't want to be up like this. It will make it more difficult and you won't get the hip stretching out of this. Try to straighten your back as much as possible. You may want your hands on a wall, the couch, bring your chair next to you, that's fine. And now we'll just twist the upper body, twist that back leg, and feel the stretch in the hips as you drop them down to the ground in different directions. From here, I'm going to turn my back on you because we're going to reach over top of the knee and reach to the back, keeping the hips dropped down. Then reach forward and slide that arm across the ground. Drop your elbow right down to the ground and try to get a good stretch out of your back. Your leg obviously is stretching here. And we're going back into that. Open up over top of that other knee. Look behind you. And one more time, slide that arm in front of you. Drop your elbow down. Stretch out your back and your hips. Come on back up to the center. From there, let's get a little hamstring. So we're going to sit those knees, those hips way back. Try to straighten out your back as much as you can. You may need a chair next to you or your couch in front of you, your wall. Push those hips back. Pull the toes up just a little bit wherever you get a stretch in the hamstrings. We'll go in and out of that briefly. Slowly, just under control. We don't want to go fast or else your muscles will tighten up. That's it. We want to give them a chance to release. Slowly push those hips back. Okay. Going back to the front lunge, bring your foot back. We're switching to the other side. First of all, get into a nice deep lunge. Drop your hips down, hands down. Move the hips around, the torso around to get a great stretch out of the hips. As much as you can here, shifting around. Excellent. Keep the opposite hand to the front foot on the floor. The other hand reaches out over top of that knee and reaching backward. Keep the hips down rather than up. We want to get them down and twist as much as you can. Reach backward. Then arm comes forward, slides down and in front. Drop your elbow to the ground or as close to the ground as you can. Breathe deeply into that. Come on, back up. Reach to the back. Drop your hips. It's okay if you move around in this one or just hold it. Come on forward, reach that arm down and in front. Drop your hips as much as you can. Coming on, back up to center, we'll get the hamstrings. Foot out in front, hips back as far as they can go. Body stays, torso stays as straight as possible. Pull your toes up. Again, if you need your hands on something, a stool, a chair, then by all means bring that there. We'll go in and out. We don't have to go into a full lunge. Just gently release that tension and go back into a good hamstring stretch. That's it. Opening up the hips and all the muscles around. Now we come into a frog squat. Some people, your heels are going to be off the ground. If you can push your heels to the ground, all the better, by all means. We're going to push one knee out and then the other. The aim is to push the heels toward the ground and drop the hips as much as possible. If you need that chair or that couch next to you, by all means do that. Now we'll drop the hands down to the floor, push the hips upward, straighten out the legs, drop the hips a little bit, and roll yourself up, one vertebrae at a time. Once we're up here, let's get a little bit out of side to side. One of the directions we haven't gone in yet. Beautiful. If you want to do it even slower and just hold in a lateral lunge, keep the torso up tall, and then slide back over. The hips should either go straight or just scoop in between. You can keep this moving if you feel better doing that, or if you feel better, just hold it for a few moments at one side, and then go to the other side. Now we need to stretch out those glutes because we've been sitting on them and squishing them and turning them off. So we're going to do an active stretch of the glutes. The first thing you can do, if you know what a pigeon is, you can go into a pigeon. So I'll show you the pigeon first. We're trying to get that knee underneath the back leg straight and pushing our hips toward the ground. Front knee is out to the side. Foot is the other direction. Fire those glutes. Now, if you can't get into that, we can stay in a 90-90. And you're going to fire those glutes similar to what we did. And then release them. And we're going to do some sweeping from side to side. The torso is going to sweep the front leg. Whether you're in the 90-90 or whether you're in the pigeon, sweep from side to side and look over your shoulder. Your hands will walk from side to side. So look over your shoulder. I'll go back into the 90-90. Sweep down and across. So you're in one side 90-90. Let's flip it. Or switch your pigeon. Go tall. Down to your chest, down to your leg. Sweep across. Breathing deeply as you're doing this. Tall and look over your shoulder. Walk your hands across. Couple more times. Still breathing nice and deeply. Bring your feet in front. You can drop them both off to the side onto your knees. Tuck your toes underneath for a little bit of a foot stretch. Do you feel that foot stretch? If you have shoes on, you might not feel it quite as much. I forgot to mention, you can do this with or without shoes. I like to do it without because I can spread my toes and use all the muscles in my feet as much as possible. But if you're more comfortable in shoes, by all means. Sliding backwards, push your heels down toward the ground. Then push one ankle forward while the other heel is pushing down to the ground. And then push both heels down and push the other ankle forward. So you're sitting more on the one that's pushing toward the ground. Push the other ankle forward. And then we'll switch. Hopefully you can see this a little better this week because I have lighter pants and white legs. Alrighty, we are going to roll up. So your feet will gradually flatten down. Push your hips back and up. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Open up your chest. Let's do a couple back arches. Hands on your glutes. Fire your glutes. Squeeze them to support your low back as you open up and arch up. Exhale. And one more time. Squeeze your glutes. Pull those shoulder blades down and back. Open up your chest. A nice deep breath to finish it off. Fill up into your low ribs. Exhale. And one more. Inhale up. Exhale down. And we have completed it. Have a great rest of the day.